Hi, everybody. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today, we're going to focus on Chapter 1 of Bud Not Buddy and our vocabulary words 1 to 5. Before this lesson, you will need a pencil and a piece of paper or journal page. And you're going to divide the paper into 3 equal parts or thirds. And then you're going to write numbers 1 to 5. Because for each number, you're going to write a vocabulary word. And then in the second column, you're going to write a synonym for that word. And a synonym means a word that means the same. For example, combine means the same as mix. So mix and combine are similar. They're synonyms. But if you don't catch a synonym or can think of a synonym, you can just rewrite the vocabulary word a second time. And in the third column, I want you to draw a quick picture or sketch to help you remember the vocabulary word. So for this slide, you're not going to write anything, just listen, just like the picture has the emoji with his hand up to his ear. So listen. The setting of Bud Not Buddy, or the time and place, is Flint, Michigan in the 1930s. So this postcard says, "Greetings from Flint, Michigan." And what we know about Flint, Michigan during that time is there was the Depression. Many people were out of work, and Flint is an industrial town, meaning it has many big businesses or industries. So again, you're going to listen to this slide and follow along as I read. The historical context, the Depression. The Great Depression was a severe worldwide economic crisis from 1929 to 1945. On Black Tuesday, the stock market lost $14 billion. During the worst years of the Depression, the jobless rate was 25%. 50% of the children did not have adequate food, shelter, or medical care. Bankers became so unpopular that bank robbers such as Bonnie and Clyde became American folk heroes. And again on this slide, listen and follow along. Historical context, Dust Bowl. There was a terrible drought which turned soil into dust. During the Great Depression, a long period of severe dust storms in the Midwest caused major damage to farms. Millions of acres of farmland became useless, and hundreds of thousands of people became homeless. So this is a famous picture of a woman whose husband died, and she was traveling looking for work with her children. And again, this slide, listen. Up at the top, it says dust storm damage 1930 to 1940. If you look in the brown areas in the middle of the United States, these are the Dust Bowl states: Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma. And the red area is the area with most severe dust storm damage. And the yellow is other areas damaged by dust storms. So there's a picture of a farm that was abandoned because the land was no longer good for growing crops. And then down at below, there's a picture of a migrant family that had to move away from the states where the Dust Bowl was. So down at the bottom, it says the Dust Bowl states, or the brown states, were, do you remember the names of the brown states? Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Other states that were affected were Montana, Wyoming, parts of North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. So our main character in Bud Not Buddy is, and again, just listen, main character is Bud Caldwell, age 10, African American, mother died 4 years ago, no family, he's skinny, he carries around a cardboard suitcase tied with twine, clothes are old and ragged, has rules to live by, and eyes don't cry anymore. So for this page, you need to get your pencil, and this is chapter 1 again, and our first word is caseworker. So what is a caseworker? So write caseworker for number 1, C-A-S-E, case, worker, W-O-R-K-E-R, caseworker, a person who works for the orphanage in placing children with foster families. So I have a picture over here of a caseworker, and down at the bottom, a caseworker talking to a family. And number 2 is foster parents. Foster parents. The first word is foster, F-O-S-T-E-R, and parents, P-A-R-E-N-T-S. Foster parents, a family paid by the government to take care of orphan children. So make sure for number 1, you have caseworker. Number 2 is foster parents. Number 3 is orphan, O-R-P-H-A-N, orphan. What is an orphan? An orphan means that the kid's parents have died or can no longer care for them. In fact, in the Depression, some people were so poor that they had to give up their children to the orphanage. So again, 1 is caseworker, 2 is foster parents, and 3 is orphan. If I go too fast, you can push pause and write the words and think of a synonym and then draw a quick sketch. Bud calls the orphanage the home. The home. It's often referred to as the home. And here's a picture of an old orphanage back in the Depression times. Again, on this, we're still on chapter 1. Get your pencil. And our fourth word is twine, T-W-I-N-E, twine. So if you notice on the picture of Bud Not Buddy, there is a suitcase wrapped in twine. So here's the quote. Most of the kids in the home keep their things in a bag or cloth sack, but not me. I have my own suitcase. I set it on the mattress and untied the twine that held it together. Twine, T-W-I-N-E, twine. Again, we're still on chapter 1. Get your pencil for number 5. Decoder ring, D-E-C-O-D-E-R, decoder. It has the word decode in it, and ring, R-I-N-G. These rings were cheap prizes that would allow the child to create and read secret codes. Ovaltine and other companies that marketed early decoders to children often included secret messages on radio shows aimed at kids. These could be decoded for a preview of the next episode of the show. And here's a quote from Bud Not Buddy. It was like something was telling me that there was a message for me on this flyer, but I didn't have the decoder ring to read what it was. Bud. Now let's check your work. Again, for chapter 1, words 1 through 5. Number 1 is caseworker. It's a noun, a person who works for the orphanage in placing children with foster families, caseworker. Number 2, foster parents. It's a noun also, a family paid by the government to take care of orphan children, foster parents. Number 3, orphan. An orphan is a kid who has parents who died, a kid without parents. And 4, twine, strong thread or string, twine. 5, decoder ring, noun, a cheap prize that would allow a child to create and read secret codes, decoder ring. So, boys and girls, we're done with lesson for chapter 1, part A, or words 1 through 5. Thanks for reading with me and following along and writing your words. Have a great day.